Everybody, and welcome to week 4. This is Dr. Bob here. Alright, so in week 4 we're going to be looking at symbolic boundaries. That's a discussion question, and I know for some of you that's going to be a little confusing. What do we mean by a symbolic boundary? So one thing I'll be doing is I'll be downloading for you or attaching an article I wrote on that subject called about symbolic boundaries and the symbolic meaning behind physical boundaries. Now, what is a symbolic boundary? Well, simply a symbolic boundary is anything that prevents us in one way or another or inhibits us in one way or another. Now, for example, a symbolic boundary might be a very expensive store that you know you can't go into, you don't have the money, or perhaps you feel if I go in there people are going to look at me, so it prevents you from going in the store. It can be a church, it can be a school, perhaps a certain private school. We don't have the money, we can't afford to go there, or I'm not going to go to a dance because you feel like maybe you don't have the right clothes, or you don't know how to dance, or you're scared. Those kind of things. So it can be a particular side of town as well. So again, when you're thinking of a symbolic boundary in your examples, think about things that can be physical, yes, and most of the times boundaries are physical, symbolic boundaries, but a boundary can also be psychological as well. Anything that prevents us, that it has meaning to you, and it prevents you from being who you are, from being feeling equal, I guess is probably the best way to put that. Okay, quiz. This week you have a quiz, so be sure you get into my Social Lab, into Pearson there, and make sure you take the quiz. And remember, you have 2 attempts on any quiz, and that second attempt must be done 1 week past the deadline for that quiz, so it gives you a little extra time to work on that. Now remember, if you don't complete the quiz during this week, and you come back next week, you take a second attempt at it or whatever, please let me know. I try to go back and check that, but I don't always do that, and so remind me, say, hey Dr. Bob, I retook that quiz, or I took it and I took it late. Just let me know and I'll be glad to go in there and check it out and post your score. Okay, so this week the theme is culture, and culture is one of my areas of specialization. I did a culture comprehensive exam. Culture comp we call it, but it's a comprehensive exam in graduate school on this subject. In fact, you get 8 hours locked in a room, and you have to write at least 20 pages based on 2 questions. So you can see they really want to make sure you know a lot about culture. But let me just say this quickly. You'll see a lot of different definitions about culture, and not everybody's going to agree on what culture means, but the things that you should be focusing on is the definition that we have in our textbook on culture, and how your culture, your individual culture, your family culture, your group culture, affects your worldview. Now, last couple things I want to talk about real quickly, and then I'll be done for today, is the importance of reading the guidelines. Every week, the very first thing you should be doing is pulling up the module for that week. So for example, week 4, you pull up module 4, read the overview. Make sure you understand what the week is going to be about. Go right to the guidelines and rubric. Those will guide you for every assignment. The biggest problem I see when students turn in their assignments and they don't do well on them is because they didn't read the guidelines. They didn't follow the directions. They didn't read the rubric. Those are how we as instructors are supposed to grade you. So make sure you do that. Finally, on the subject of grading, as I said in the announcement, I'm going to give you an extra day, so you have through the end of the day today on week 3 discussion, okay, only on that assignment. If you did not follow the directions, remember, read it carefully, the discussion, go into Social Explorer, go into the resource, look up in Social Explorer the data pertaining to your county, and then in your discussion post, tell us what that data says, tell us how that compares to your family situation, and try to provide a little bit of analysis. You're going to see that it has changed through the decades. Tell us why you think that changed. Only a few of you left who haven't done that, So otherwise, it looks really great. I'm very pleased. We have over 100 posts in week 3, so awesome job there. And that's it for today. I hope you all have a great day, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.